My husband kept his second family hidden, so I left him. Now he explained everything to me, and I love him so much that I got back with them. This is a long and complicated story. I'm a mess right now, trying to wrap my brain around everything. I met my husband, Jake, about 4 years ago on Tinder. Jake comes from a different country than where I am from, but he was my type. When we started talking, I was blown away by how charming and sweet he was. This version of Jake never went away. He has always been charismatic. He's the type of person who makes you feel better about yourself when you finished having a conversation with him. He and I fell in love quickly and got married fast. He was very eager to start a family as it gave his citizenship in my country more legitimacy. We were married by our second anniversary, and I was pregnant with our son. Jake still works in his home country, so every few months, he flies back and stays there with his mother. Or so I thought. He completes the work required and then flies back. The rest of the work he can do at home. The last few years with Jake have genuinely been the most amazing years of my life. This is why the last week feels like such a fever dream. This is hard to explain, but a person on Facebook messaged me last Tuesday, claiming that Jake had been cheating on me and that they had proof. I genuinely didn't believe this person. At first, I just ignored them. But then curiosity got the better of me, so I messaged back. I asked what proof they had. They sent me a large collection of photos of Jake with another woman and 2 boys. I know these photos were relatively recent, as he dyed his hair blonde for the Barbie movie at my request. He has kept it like that ever since. The person told me the woman in the photo was his wife, and the 2 boys were his sons. I didn't want to believe it. I tried to find ways to convince myself that they were fake. Photoshop, AI, whatever, I don't even know. I think the person blocked me after that, as their account just now appears as a Facebook user when I look at the chats. When I got home, I confronted Jake. He started crying and confessed that everything was true. He said that he indeed had a wife and 2 sons, about 13 and 9. He told me that he was still married to this woman in his home country. I asked him how he could do this to me. How could he have lied to me for so long? I told him I would expose him to the other wife. He said not to bother because she already knows and supports him. I left and have been staying with my mother ever since. This has been the hardest week of my life. Some days, I genuinely do not want to get out of bed. Jake has been texting me, saying that he will completely break things off with the other wife, if that's what I wanted. He texted me, saying he thought I wouldn't mind, which made me sob into my pillow. I have never felt so low. Part of me stupidly wants to take him back. The years I had with him were the best I have ever had, but this betrayal is just too much. Update 1. It's been over a week since I left to stay at my mother's house. This time away from Jake has been so good for me. It allowed me to see what was really important to me. Since I originally posted, Jake and I have been talking. He told me he had broken things off with his other wife. Apparently, it wasn't even a legal marriage. He explained that when he was a child, his parents and his wife's parents arranged for them to marry. This happened when he was 7 years old. But it wasn't a legal wedding. It was just like a ceremonial thing that linked his family with hers. He said he never loved her but was required to marry her. Or else, his father had to pay so much to his wife's family as a punishment. I felt terrible for him. I could tell he didn't want to be with her at all, and was only doing it for his family. The relationship isn't real on either side, which is what he was trying to tell me. They're only married because they're required to be. I'm so relieved now that he's explained everything to me. He told me he won't be contacting her again. But because of this, we will have to send a small amount of money to the wife's family for the foreseeable future. But it is better than the alternative of him going over to be with her every few months. I wish he just told me the truth from the start. I've signed us up for couples therapy. What concerns me now is what the relationship will be like between my son and his other half-siblings. I would like to foster a relationship between them, if I can. I'm just glad to be back with Jake. I love him so much.